I'm starting to get dizzy thinking of all the different people involved in the voluntary carbon market.
I feel the same way. And what's more concerning is that the majority of people are more focused on profit than on the well being of our communities.
But how can they do that when the safeguards are there to protect our rights and reduce harm to our people and environment?
That's perhaps the key question for us and our community. But business is business, and the rush to push projects forward cause some of the biggest risks to our rights. Let's take a closer look at what some of those risks are and what we can do to reduce them. You remember what I said about our right to FPIC?
Of course, it means that our right to free, prior, and informed consent should be respected.
Exactly. But that doesn't automatically mean that the project developer will respect our rights or even know how to. Some of the standards requirements may not be clear enough to describe how everything should be done to begin with, or what evidence is needed to prove it after the fact. This also makes it difficult for the Validation and Verification Body, or VVB, to identify violations if they occur. Sure, safeguards say that our rights should be respected, but they might not necessarily state how.
So, if these rules or safeguards aren't always clear or followed, what can we do?
One of the first ways we can avoid risks to our rights is to establish clear consultation protocols that the whole community agrees to. Our right to FPIC means we alone get to decide how that should look. Remember, FPIC is required for any development project that would impact our territories, not just those related to carbon markets.
We created a consultation protocol in my community with the help of our representative federation and some trusted partners.
That's a good reminder. Allied organizations can help you prepare, and they may also be able to advise on what to look out for with any particular project developer, as well as the terms of a carbon credit deal. You should demand to get detailed information from the project developer before initiating consultations, including how they plan to treat issues if they arise. And you have the right to insist that consultations are in your language and are appropriate for your culture. Meanwhile, your representative federations may be able to help you in advocating for this, especially if multiple communities fall within the project area. Remember, project developers are the only ones who benefit from rushing us and not providing us with all the details we need to make an informed decision.
I see what you're saying. If we had all the information, we might not want to make a deal at all. Or we could use that information to negotiate a better one.
Good point. Here are some things you'll certainly want to know to make that decision. The costs involved in developing a project. How much will the project developers make? How much will the community earn? Even in jurisdictional RED Plus programs, when the money goes to the government, they are still required to share a portion of those earnings with those who have contributed to the results, including Indigenous peoples and local communities. Also, it should be clear in the agreement that any fees going to the project developer are limited to carbon credits and don't apply to other bioeconomy projects or forest products. It is very important to understand if the deal imposes any restrictions on the community's use of the forest, like harvesting trees to build houses or boats or clearing land for farms. And don't forget to review in detail all the terms of the deal. What protects your right to get out of the project in the future if you should so choose? If the contract is difficult to understand, it might be on purpose, so don't hesitate to seek help from the people that you trust. Remember, a contract signed with a project developer potentially represents a long-term commitment, possibly spanning multiple generations. It's essential that the terms are understood by all and that any financial benefits support the whole community, keeping in mind that this agreement may positively or negatively affect our children and grandchildren.
Okay, I think I've got it. The most crucial moment to protect our rights is before giving our consent. First, our whole community needs access to all the information. Then we may choose to participate in a consultation process. It's important to have legal support as we conduct a close review of the contract. Only then can we make a decision or negotiate the terms if necessary.
Exactly. This is also your best opportunity to develop an agreement that can work for your community, your life plan, and your hopes for the future.
So what's next?
If you agree to move forward with the project, there can still be risks to your rights. Make sure to clarify in writing with the project developer what terms you expect concerning each other's role in implementing the project and how you plan to monitor that. In addition to that, pay close attention to what the standard bodies and the VVBs are doing. Some standards carry out verifications every 5 years, and during this time, a lot could change during the implementation of the project with regards to social and environmental risks and impacts. Meanwhile, it's possible that neither may have the expertise needed to identify rights violations in a local or national context. It's important to remember that both have financial interests in having the credits verified, which can potentially cause them to overlook some procedures that may not have been met, especially as they compete for market share. Our rights need to be respected throughout the entire length of a project, not just at the beginning. With support and information, there's a lot you can do to reduce the risks to your community. In the next video, we'll cover what to do when, despite our best efforts, things go wrong.